Hi there, this is Floating in Dreams. This is my eyeshadow palette review for November. Welcome to everybody watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. Today, I'm going to be chatting to you about the 4 new to me eyeshadow palettes that I tested out in November. I'm going to be including swatches. I'm going to be including looks that I've done with every single pen of eyeshadow in these 4 palettes. All 4 of these palettes were kindly gifted to me by MONOLITH. In case you didn't know, I'm affiliated with them. If you want to get 5% off of your next order, you can use my code, which I'll pop on the screen, and it's always in the description box, so that if you're looking for it, you can find it very easily. Some of these I picked out myself, but some of these were also just sent to me, and I didn't have much of a choice. So let's see what we have here, because it's quite a mixed bag. We have some Beaute Bar, we have some Unearthly, and we have Fenty Cosmetica. So let's get chatting. So I think this was also the first palette I tried this month, and it's the Which is Familiar from Fenty Cosmetica and their collab with BettyJean. She's changed her name, and I'm always still stuck on the old name. I don't know why. With Unearthly as well, it took me 5 years to get accustomed to them no longer being called Alien Cosmetics. It's on me. No offense to the creator. I love her. I watch a lot of her videos. She's currently doing all of her declutters, and I've been hooked. So I do watch her quite regularly, and I'm so happy for her that she got to do this collab with Fenty Cosmetica, because Fenty Cosmetica is also one of my favorite brands, and she has done collabs in the past, but that brand went defunct, and nobody really seems to know what happened to Shroud, but, and I still have her, one of her collab palettes that she did with that brand as well, because it's a stunning palette, so I know she can create good color stories, so I'm happy to see what they came out with. We get 3 reds, we get some purples, we get some pinky lavender things, and these turquoisey green with a navy blue being the deepest shade in the palette, which I think is interesting because with a palette like this, I feel the sort of first reaction a lot of people will be having is to put a black in here. So I'm glad that it actually came with a navy blue, because I like that a little bit better. And this is a beautiful palette. It's really, really fun. It's definitely a little bit different. The reds are beautiful, the purples are beautiful, and they go together really well. And I did a second look with these greens and these pinky lavender shades. Really beautiful shimmers. It's the formula that I know I love from Fenty Cosmetica as well, so that made me really happy. This shade, what's it called again? This is called Altar, and I call this mold, but in a good way. It has this marbled effect, and with marbled shadows, I don't always love it because it's only effective for the first layer, and once you scrape off the first layer, then the shade becomes a little less interesting. But this still has, it's almost like a holographic sort of deeper tone, but then it has loads of sparkles to it. It's really, really pretty, and it goes really well together with the purples as well as the reds, I have to say. This also with the navy I think would be pretty. I haven't played around much with opposites in this palette, because I do feel that can work as well. The reds with these pinky tones I think can be stunning too. So I haven't done that a lot yet. What I do have to say, and that's the only comment I have with this, is that these reds stained my brushes really badly. When I put it on my lids, I was also very afraid that it would stain my lids. With shades like this, it's just a risk that you need to be willing to take. So it didn't do that for me. I was able to nicely take it off at the end of the day, but I had 1 or 2 brushes that I used together with these reds, and they really, really stained my brushes. I didn't have to clean them fully, but I do feel the next time I was using it, I really had to wipe it off on a cloth really carefully to get most of the pigment off, so I could use the brush again with some different shadows. So do be warned that these, especially if you have white brushes, that these shades, these 3, will stain the brushes. If that's not something you're into, don't get this. Is this beautiful, unique, and crazy, and a little bit fun and out there? For sure. Is this going to be my new go-to palette? No. No. It's just a little bit out there. I definitely did the looks with this palette on non-working days, because As much as I love a fun, bold eyeshadow look, and I do wear a lot of bolder makeup looks to work, wearing this to work is kind of pushing it. Kind of pushing it. Like, I wear a lot, and I tell a lot of people, just wear what you like if you can get away with it. A lot of it is just to do with confidence as well. But especially wearing reds to work, I'm not sure I want that. So that's why this palette is beautiful. It's unique. It's a little bit wacky. It's a little bit crazy. But it does have some really fun things in that I do think can work a little bit more. I think if you leave the reds out of it, it's essentially just a purple pastel sort of heaven. And then this makes it grungy. So you don't have to put the reds in. You can also keep it a little bit more toned down if that's what you want. I definitely need to go back to this at some point to do those more toned down looks. I now just wanted to focus on using every single shade in the palette, so I did 2 looks with it. Liked them well enough, but I do think this is a little bit out of my comfort zone for sure. Then the biggest surprise in this review today was the Unearthly Gothic Romance. This is one that was just sent to me in PR. I didn't have any say over receiving this, which I don't mind. It's good to test things out that I didn't expect to like and then like them a lot more. When I spotted this in the new makeup releases video, I said there are far too many mattes. This is giving Blend Bunny vibes where we just get a gradient of color and every row has a shimmer that accompanies it. And what worried me was that this and also this were pretty deep in the swatches. So I wasn't sure I was gonna like it. And then I put it on my face. And I was like, ooh, that's a very stunning, really, really stunning palette. Why this is called the Gothic Romance though? Mind-boggling, because there's nothing romantic about this palette at all, and it's also not gothic. So if you just judge it by its cover, like, you just get a row of pinks, you get a row of warm tones, you get a row of greens, and you get a row of purples. And it's beautiful. Every look I did with this was really beautiful. It looked stunning on the lids. Everything worked. Everything worked. And yes, I was worried about the green and the purple, but they actually looked really pretty. And I was like, yeah, I could just use that and then use either this white or something like this in the inner corner, and I'm still good to go. So I do get all the shades I want. But like with Blend Bunny, I don't need 4 mattes to be able to blend a look. So there's that. But yeah, it was stunning. If I just judge this objectively, was it good quality? Yes. Are the shades pretty? Also yes. Do you get a whole array of different shades? Also yes. So as far as a good indie brand palette goes, this has a lot going for it. Would I still want more shimmers though? Yes, there's only 4 shimmers in here. So I do feel it's a little bit expensive for that matter, because very often if we get a higher priced indie brand palette, it's usually because of the shimmers. And yes, we get special shimmers in here. These aren't your regular standard shimmers. They're all shifty, they're all unique, and also shifts that I haven't seen a lot in other palettes. But I want it more. There could just be, if they had made slightly different choices, these 3, I don't need all 3 of these. I don't even no. This could also go with this. These 2 just feel so superfluous, and I love the way this palette is laid out and how it looks. It's very satisfying to look at, not gonna lie, but I just wanted more shimmers. 2 more shimmers would have made this a little bit more perfect for me, because in terms of shimmers, we get very light things or we get very dark things. There are no mid-tone shimmers in here. So 2 mid-tone shimmers just to round it out a little bit and get fewer mattes. I would have liked that. But yeah, this really surprised me. It was super blendable, super easy to work with. I did 4 looks with this, just 1 look per row. Every look came together so incredibly easily and effortlessly. That's always what I'm looking for with a lot of my eyeshadow palettes, because I do get ready for my day either because I'm filming or because I'm heading out to work. So I need my eyeshadow to just blend and go on and be crease free, and this had everything going for it. And that's the first time in forever that I've said that about an Unearthly palette. So yeah, this was a lot more successful than I had expected. So props to Unearthly Cosmetics for doing the Gothic romance, because I really had not clocked this as a potential favorite. And from these four, it's actually my favorite that I used because it was just so pretty and it's still versatile. Like, it's got the warm tones, it's got the cool tones, it's got some vibrancy. It just has everything you could possibly want. And I haven't even started putting the different rows together because I think that can work as well. Like, wouldn't it be pretty if you were to like put the pink tones with the purples, or maybe the warm tones with the greens? The pinks with the greens would be beautiful, the purples with the warm tones. I think there are loads of options here. So I haven't even, like, I feel with this one, I've only just begun to scratch the surface. So this has been a really, really fun one to play with. Another palette that kind of surprised me, but the worries I had about it did come true, and that's the Coalescence, which is another influencer collab. But this is between Beaute Bar and Noopur makeup. I started watching Noopur's channel this year. She is very review based, so that's why I'm not watching a lot of her videos, because I don't want my opinions to be skewed by what she's doing. But she's the one who put me onto spicy neutrals, and I really appreciate her just for doing that. And I really think that it's a good thing that she has been able to make a palette. Color story wise, I was worried this wasn't going to come together for me. And while this has beautiful shades, and some of the looks I did with this, I think I did 3 or 4 looks with this. Some of the looks I did with this were very, very successful, but there were also some shades where I was like, and where am I going to put you now? Not all of the undertones of these shades go together seamlessly. So with the Unearthly, I feel everything kind of goes together. With this, like, we get greens, but all of the greens have a different undertone. So what am I supposed to do with this? Like, this is cool tone, this is cool toned, and then this has so much yellow in that it doesn't go with any of the other greens. So I'm like, what am I supposed to do with you? Another thing that's in here that worried me, but that I found was actually successful, is that this and this are satins. I do feel that shimmer-wise, we get things in here that Beaute Bar doesn't normally do. But the satins were my favorite thing about this. They are also very neutral satins, so that's probably why, because they tend to like tie everything together, I feel. The more intense shimmers, not very unique. That was another thing I had already seen from just looking at this palette online. Something like this, we already get in every single palette. Something like this, we already get in every single palette. Something like this. This was beautiful, but again, it's just another like pinky bluey green, which I feel I have in other palettes as well. Beautiful, yes, but this is a contender that when I declutter my eyeshadow palette collection in March, I'm just gonna pull my favorite shades from it and put it with my singles collection, because there are some individual shades in here that I really, really like this Boom shade, this taupey matte. The purples are stunning. Like I said already, these two shimmers. I like these two green toned, like grayish tones here as well. But the rest of it, I'm like, not sure I'd need it. Not sure I'd need it. So it has a couple of really pretty things that it has going for it. And some of the looks I did were really, really pretty. But there were also a couple that I felt were a little bit disjointed, that didn't come together the way I had hoped. And that's just because these undertones don't always match. There's cool tones and warm tones in the same palette. And because of the way it's laid out, it doesn't quite go together. And while you can like mix and match loads of shades together, I do feel that if the undertones of those shades aren't very coherent, it can be very difficult to pull the looks together. Because where you can like blend a red and a purple together and like create a new shade, if they don't have the right undertone, everything is just going to look like murky brown, because the undertones don't match. So that's the thing I feel lets this palette down. But it is very pretty, and like I said, there are some individual shades in here that I like, and this is fully magnetic, so I can pull my very favorite shades out of it super easily. And finally, the Dark Dreamscape by Bella Beaute Bar. Now, if you saw my review in October, then you know that I tested out the unoriginal nudes, which had me worried that Bella Beaute Bar was no longer making my favorite formula. There were some weird shadows in that. Even though it was pretty, I really, really didn't like the formula. The mattes were stunning, but especially in the shimmer formula, I was like, no, just no. But they've redeemed themselves with the Dark Dreamscape. This has the Bella Beaute formula that I love. So if you were worried as well, like me, that Bella Beaute Bar was now had gone completely rogue, they haven't. The Dark Dreamscape, however, is again not the right name for this palette. It's just not that dark. I was worried, this being called Dark Dreamscape and the fact that it has this light side and this dark side, that's also what we would get in the palette. But we essentially just get a gradient. Yes, there are deeper tones, but these aren't crazy deep. And I still get enough like lighter things and midtones to like set up a look to use as a crease shade. Is everything going to be vibrant and colorful with this though? Yes. And did we already get a different palette from Bella Beaute Bar this year that was like fun and vibrant and colorful? The Ocean Jewel? Also yes. Color story wise, I prefer the Ocean Jewel over this. I just do. This row of like pinky tones and then with the purples and then the periwinkle purples and then the turquoisey greens, it all looks pretty samey and it's almost like this is the more, well, I don't want to call it muted because this is not a muted color story as you will see in the looks. It's still vibrant, it's really fun, but I just feel like the Ocean Jewel is like, if I'm gonna go colorful, those are the shades I want. This just didn't quite tickle that itch, but formula-wise it was really pretty. This shade here, I hope the camera picks up the shift. It's so beautiful. It's sort of like warm orangey pink, and then it also has purple, blue, green. It's a really pretty multi-chrome. In the Ocean Jewel, I felt we got a couple of shades that felt a little too creamy. Nothing was weirdly creamy in this one. So formula-wise, again, this just really takes the cake. Some really beautiful shades. I especially love the row of periwinkles. This palette is going to stay in my collection just for that row. Like, if I never even use the rest of this palette, these 5 shades together with these 2, I live for shades like that. These are so pretty. It's vibrant though, so if I do want to like go for that, I think I do prefer the Ocean Jewel, but this is a beautiful palette, and yeah, I will definitely be playing more with this. I just know I will. It's just, again, these oranges I don't really get. Like, can we like do something, like, do you see? They kind of throw the entire palette off. So if this was like more of this like purple vibe, I think I would have liked it just a touch better. And like I said, if you were afraid of this being too dark, it's not that dark at all. It's pretty vibrant, really full on, in your face, fun, colorful. If that's what you're looking for, then this can be a nice one. And that's it already. Those were the 4 eyeshadow palettes that I tried out for you in November. Check out my haul and my Shop My Stash in December to know what palettes I will be reviewing next. And then, of course, these palettes, as well as all the other palettes that I've tried out in 2025, are going to go into a giant palette ranking in January when I have 12 months of eyeshadow palettes gathered all together. So if you want to know what my favorite palettes were of the year, then you're going to have to stay tuned for that. And we still have a month to go in this year, so there's still a couple of things I still need to test out. So hope you would like to check back for more. Of course, thumbs up this video if you liked it. Let me know if there's any palettes here today that you have tried as well, or maybe you are curious after them and you are looking to purchase them. That would be fun, of course. So let me know in a comment down below, and I hope to see you again really, really soon in a new video. Bye-bye.